What's going on, everyone? So, more likely than not, D'Angelo Russell is going to be shipped out for Dejounte Murray. And it's not because of D'Angelo Russell's play. It's solely on salary purposes, right? Many believe that the Lakers are in kind of a rock and a hard place because D'Angelo has a player option next season. And people are kind of looking at it in two ways, right? One, either D'Lo doesn't continue to play the way he is playing right now, which has been unbelievable. He just had another incredible game and just really hit some big shots and some big moments for the Lakers. But many believe that, like, okay, if he keeps this up and he keeps playing to this level, then he's going to demand and yield a big contract, right? $25 million plus. And then the other side of that is if D'Lo doesn't continue to play this way and he opts in, then he basically becomes a negative asset, which I don't agree with. Because one, there's always going to be teams that are in the market and need a point guard of his talents. Even if he isn't able to maintain what he's been able to do, right? He's still a good, serviceable point guard that teams are going to want for a stopgap. And he'd be an expiring $18 million contract. Teams are going to want that. You'd also, if you didn't trade D'Lo, have like 3 firsts going into the offseason, and you'd just still be in great shape. And teams would take on D'Angelo Russell. The Lakers were able to trade Russell Westbrook and his $40 million salary and get back 3 pieces and only had to give up a protected first. You're telling me that a team wouldn't take D'Angelo Russell, who's actually a serviceable player and could be very good in the right situation, for giving up a guy that maybe is on a long-term salary that maybe makes sense for the Lakers? Of course they would, right? And I just look at it and go, okay, Dejounte Murray, let's say he is the better player. Again, whether you believe he is or not. I think that the upside with Dejounte Murray is higher than with D'Lo, right? Because if you get some combination of like San Antonio Dejounte Murray with Atlanta shooting Dejounte Murray, then the Lakers could be terrifying. But there are questions about fit and things like that where D'Lo plays so well off the ball. Now, my thing is, like, it's not like Dejounte Murray's making $18 million a year forever. Next year, his new contract kicks in, and he's making just under $25 million. And if you had to re-sign D'Lo, I don't think that's the worst thing possible, right? Again, D'Lo has been on an absolute tear and has been incredible. The holdup for the Dejounte Murray trade is because Atlanta doesn't want D'Lo because they have Trae Young. And it doesn't make sense for them to have D'Lo with Trae Young. And they don't want him to opt into his contract. D'Angelo Russell wants to be a Laker. He loves being a Laker. And if he plays good enough and continues to play the way he's playing and then into the playoffs, then he would be worth $25 million. And if you could have him, if you traded for Dejounte Murray and D'Lo continues to play the way he's playing, you're probably one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team in the league. Because you'd have, even if D'Angelo Russell as the 4th option, instead of averaging 27 a game, drops to like 17 a game. As your 4th option, you have a guy shooting 40+% and 17 a game who can also go get you 6 assists. You would always have a point guard on the court and a playmaker, and D'Angelo Russell or Dejounte Murray or LeBron James. D'Angelo Russell and his ability to play off ball, I think, would be massive. He's better defensively than Austin Reaves has been. And I do think there is the likelihood that Dejounte Murray and D'Angelo Russell could work as a backcourt pairing. And to have D'Lo as basically just tell D'Lo, hey, look, you have the green light. Just go score. When you get the ball, put it up. Shoot. And my other concern is if you trade D'Lo, now you lost not only the chemistry with like an Anthony Davis, but you also lost your best shooter and a high volume shooter that shooting excellent. I mean, even before this emergence of D'Lo, he was still shooting like 40% from three on the season. And now you're going to go and you're going to trade him for a guy that is, yes, Dejounte Murray, who he's shooting 40% on the season, but he's not as good of a shooter as D'Lo is. And now you're even more attached to Taurean Prince because he would be your only three-point shooter at that point. Austin Reaves has completely forgot how to shoot the three ball. He's been terrible shooting the three ball this year. And look, I like Austin Reaves a lot. I do. But D'Lo has just been the better player this year. And he does more things that the Lakers need better. Primarily shooting. He's also been better defensively. And he's a better playmaker. Right? Like, what is D'Lo not better at Austin Reaves, or better than Austin Reaves at? And again, Austin Reaves is the guy that has the most value. If you could trade Austin Reaves, get the Atlanta deal done right now, maybe even keep your first, because that could be your negotiation. Now you have Dejounte Murray, D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis as your starting five. There is no way the Lakers look at Dejounte Murray and go, Austin Reaves is better. Because he's not. He's not. And if you truly believe Dejounte Murray is the guy that makes a ton of sense, then you go get him. And I understand the implications of the aprons and all that stuff. But here's the thing. All the top teams in the league right now are all apron teams. Because they have the front end talent. The problem is the Lakers don't have the front end talent. And so, yes, it's great that we're not in the second apron and all that stuff, but if you have the talent to go and win championships, then who cares? If the Lakers go and swap Austin Reaves for Dejounte Murray and the Lakers win the chip this year, you think anyone's going to care about having to pay D'Lo and be in the second apron? No, we're going for a repeat here. And look, not only would you be able to get the deal done now, like I said, you may be able to keep a first. Now you'd have D'Lo, who you could sign and trade or work out a new deal with if he's great, maybe trade some other pieces, whatever. But you'd still have guys along with 3 firsts to still go make a push. And let's say Donovan Mitchell becomes available, right? You could go and work out a deal to go get Donovan Mitchell and have your 3 firsts. And now maybe you have Dejounte Murray, Donovan Mitchell, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. At that point, you're the best team in the league. Like, however you slice it, I just look at it as like Austin Reaves makes the most sense right now. And if you have to overpay D'Lo, to me, that's a good sign. That means he had an excellent season and an excellent playoffs. Because if he goes to the playoffs and he just dump trucks in the playoffs, then guess what? He's not going to get this huge contract, and he's going to opt into your $18 million. And now you have an $18 million expiring contract with 3 first-round picks that you can now use and leverage to go get somebody else, right? Or maybe multiple pieces. Maybe you're trading Rui. Maybe you're trading, Gabe Vincent at that point because he's healthy now and he's, played and performed. Hopefully he's played well in the playoffs. Like, I don't think the cons are as bad as some try to make it seem. Again, this is just to me personally. And maybe I'm completely wrong. But I just think at this point, D'Lo has been by far the better player. Pretty much all season. Right? Because Austin Reaves, don't get me wrong, has had some nice stretches. But D'Lo has been just, even in the beginning of the season, was just the better guy. And his playmaking and his role and his opportunity. And the other thing is if you could get the deal done now, then that would give you like 5 games. Like, let's say the Lakers got the deal done tomorrow. You trade Austin Reaves, you go get Dejounte Murray, right? Well, then now that would give you like 5 games to go and evaluate what a D'Angelo Russell and Dejounte Murray backcourt looks like. And if it's great, fine, you leave it. At that point, you're just looking, I would personally, looking to flip Rui into maybe some bench depth that makes sense. If it doesn't work, then you just now trade D'Lo, right? And you trade both of them. And now you got Dejounte Murray, and you're flipping D'Lo into some other asset or some other pieces. Maybe you're at that point you're going and getting Bruce Brown or something like that, right? Because it's like, okay, this doesn't work. Yeah, D'Lo's better than Bruce Brown, but Bruce Brown would be the better fit, right? Maybe you're doing something along those lines. But my thing is just D'Lo has just been more dynamic. And you even saw in the Warrior game, right? D'Lo struggled shooting early on. He struggled mightily early on. He started the game like 1 of 6 or something like that, 1 of 7. And yet he still was good out there. He still was out there making plays, getting guys set up, playmaking, running the pick and roll with Anthony Davis, getting Anthony Davis established. And he's the one guy that is actively out there trying to get him the basketball. And D'Lo, you have that guy as your secondary playmaker alongside Dejounte Murray to where Dejounte can go get some rest and D'Lo can run the show. LeBron can continue to play off ball. And then when you need to, as we saw in that Warriors game, you run your offense through LeBron James and D'Lo's ability to play off ball. My thing is just like, if Austin Reaves was shooting 40+% from 3, even if he was still having his struggles, but he was shooting the 3 ball well, I wouldn't be so against keeping Austin Reaves. I mean, I'd still have my concerns just on the defensive side, but to me, it's like, let's say Austin Reaves was shooting 40, 41%, something like that, and he was doing it pretty much consistently all season. Then I'd be like, okay, well, you have him. He can shoot the 3 ball, so you let Dejounte Murray run the point, and hopefully between him and Reaves, you got 2 40% three-point shooters. But you don't. I mean, Austin Reaves is shooting 35% from 3 this season. That's just not good, right? Like, you look at that compared to last season, he shot 40% from last season. And he can't hit a 3 to save his life. And it's just like, I mean, he's had games, don't get me wrong, but consistently shooting the 3 ball, it's been a problem. Like D'Lo, even when he's had stretches where he's looked bad, he still is knocking down 3s, right? Even when he's had stretches where the ball just isn't going in the hoop, he's still knocking down the occasional 3. And my thing is just like, now what? I mean, Darvin Ham already heavily leans into Taurean Prince. Imagine if Taurean Prince is our only 3-point shooter. You don't think he's going to lean into him even harder? D'Lo's shooting 42.2% from 3 this season on 6 attempts. Last season for the Lakers, he shot 41.4% on 6.5 attempts. With the Minnesota Timberwolves, before he got traded to the Lakers, was shooting 39.1% on 7 attempts. The guy is a 40% three-point shooter. He's been 40% the last, several seasons. So, why would you want to trade your best three-point shooter? I understand the finances. I understand the implications that come with it. But to me, it's like, what better options are out there? And isn't the job to put the best talent possible on the court? Right now, D'Lo is the better talent. If it doesn't work out, I still believe you made the right decision based on the information that you have at this time. If you have to pay D'Lo $25 million a year, which I don't think you would, I believe D'Lo would take a little less, right? Let's say you have to, I don't think if people are offering him $25 million, then I don't think that he's going to take 18, but I could see him taking 22 or something, or maybe you give him a longer deal, or if D'Lo isn't constantly in trade rumors and believing he's going to get shipped out any day, then I do believe that he would stay around because he wants a home. He loves LA. He wants to be in LA. And again, I love Austin Reaves, but D'Lo's just been the better guy. And D'Lo has no real value right now, which, look, if he's bad and D'Lo doesn't continue to play the way he's playing right now, like you go get Dejounte Murray and all that stuff, then you're in the same spot you're in right now. But at least you still have Dejounte Murray. And yeah, and D'Lo opts in, and like I said, now you have an expiring contract to go and flip and use to maybe go get some other assets. Expiring contracts will always have some type of value. But D'Lo doesn't have an expiring contract this year. So teams are hesitant to take them on because the teams that you're trying to trade with aren't trying to take on long-term salary because they're trying to hit the reset button, right? So teams are hesitant because they're like, well, we don't want D'Lo to opt in. He's a great player, but it doesn't make sense for us. And there also has to be a market out there that makes sense for him. Like, most of the top teams already have a point guard, right? How many teams are going to need D'Angelo Russell and his point guard services? Even if he's playing as good, let's say he continues to play this well the entire season in the playoffs. How many teams are actively going to be trying to pursue him? And, you know, maybe one of the maybe like an Orlando or something like that. But it's like, okay, I could go to Orlando and be part of like a rebuild, like retooling, and, you know, be a middle of the pack team and make 25, maybe even 30 million a year. Or I could stay with the Lakers, contend for championships, because me, Dejounte Murray, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis with Jared Vanderbilt are ridiculous. I get to stay in LA, I get to be at home, I get to be with the team that drafted me, and we can go and try to chase a championship. Or if you win the championship, you think he's going to leave that? No, he's going to want to repeat like everyone else. I just think you keep D'Lo. I really do. And again, I'm just a guy. I'm not some expert. I'm not some insider. I'm nothing like that. Maybe I'm just foolish in my thinking, but I just look at it as like, if D'Lo continues to play this well, and you're concerned about having to pay him, you're thinking of the wrong things. Because if he continues to play this well and you go get Dejounte Murray, and Dejounte Murray, it turns out to be the guy that you believe he's going to be, you're probably not beating this Lakers team. Because now you have a guy in Dejounte Murray who basically can be your point of attack defensive guy, add some athleticism, help push the break, get out in transition, hit 40% from three, be the point guard. And then you got D'Angelo Russell, who's shooting 42% from three, can score at all three levels. You still have to worry about LeBron. You still have to worry about AD. And now you got Jared Vanderbilt, who's just locked down defensively. I mean, you're probably one of the best defensive teams, if not the best defensive team. If Dejounte Murray gets back to the defender we know he could be. So you got him, you got Jared Vanderbilt, you got Anthony Davis. D'Angelo Russell has been more than serviceable this year defensively. Again, he's not elite, not great. To me, it's just like, if you have to pay and you go into the tax, that's probably a good sign, right? But if you have to, if he ends up opting in and now you got to figure it out. Again, it's not like Dejounte Murray is making $18 million a year. He's going to continue to make a ton of money. Or maybe this year, like let's say you have to go and re-sign D'Lo. Dejounte Murray's contract continues to go up. Front load D'Lo's contract to where, you know, say you sign D'Lo to a 4-year deal, right? And say you sign him to 4 years, $100 million. Well, maybe like 30 or 35 million of it is in the first year. And then it just drops each year. It goes from like 30 to 22, and then 22 to 20, and then 20 to 18, whatever. However you would structure that, right? And then that way, at least, you know, he becomes more valuable trade-wise as it goes down. And if he continues to perform, then he just becomes more and more valuable, right? I don't see it as a problem. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me stop before, because I could keep going. But do you feel the same way as me? Do you agree with my points? Do you disagree with my points? Do you think, no, you know, Tyler, you're wrong. You know, you don't want to get in the luxury tax and all that stuff. I just really lean towards like, if you have to pay D'Lo $25 million a year, that means something went right. Right? Like, because you're not paying, D'Lo's not getting 20 to 25 million. People think the Lakers have overpaid him right now. So let's say he's a 15 million a year guy right now. Right? If you end up having to pay him 25 million, that means he was excellent for you. That means he continued playing exactly how he's playing right now. Not only now, but the playoffs too. And if he doesn't, then you have an $18 million expiring contract and 3 firsts that you can now go take and flip to go get a Donovan Mitchell or something like that. Or somebody else, right? Whoever. I don't know. But let me know, again, down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Now subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.